On the surface, this looks like just another online clothing store. But if you dig just a little deeper, you find this really fascinating story about culture, ambition, and the way we shop now. So today, we're going to unpack the hidden story of a web store called Dripalotchi. So this is what we're working with. At first glance, it's just a jumble of product names, slang, and sale prices, all pulled straight from their website. It looks kind of chaotic, right? But trust me, every single word here is a clue. Our job is to piece them all together. And that gets us to the big question. Beyond the hoodies and the t-shirts, what is Dripalotchi actually selling? To figure that out, we've got to follow the clues.
All right, so where do we even begin? Let's start with the most obvious clue right in front of us, the language. The specific words a brand chooses to use are never an accident. They're sending a direct signal to a very specific audience.
Let's start with the name of the store itself and one of its key products, the Big Drip hoodie. That word drip is right there at the center of everything. But what does it actually mean? So in modern slang, drip is all about how you present yourself. It's not just the clothes themselves. It's about having this aura of cool, of success, of effortless style. So right out of the gate, the brand is telling us, hey, we're about looking and feeling successful. Okay, let's move on to the next key phrase, something you find on multiple items. Grind mode activated. Now this moves us beyond just style and into a whole different mindset. Grind mode. That is the anthem of hustle culture. It's all about working tirelessly, pushing past your limits, and just being completely dedicated to your goals. So what the brand is doing here is connecting style, the drip, with the hard work it takes to earn it. And now we get to what feels like the absolute core of this brand's philosophy. You see this acronym LHMH on a bunch of products, and it spells it right out for us. Love, hurt, money, heals. Wow, that is a pretty cynical but powerful statement about priorities, isn't it? It's suggesting that at the end of the day, financial success is the ultimate comfort, maybe even the solution to emotional pain. So let's just pause for a second and think about this. You've got drip, grind mode, and love, hurt, money, heals. What kind of person are they talking to here? Well, it's someone who values ambition, resilience, and really seems to equate success with both how you look on the outside and how much money you have. Okay, so that's the language. But our second clue, well, it's not in the words at all. It's in the numbers. The way the store prices its items tells its own really compelling story. When you actually look at the data from the site, a pattern just jumps right out at you. Look at this. Almost every single item is on sale. The original price is always crossed out and way higher than the actual sale price. And when you run the numbers, the average discount is hovering right around 40%. This tells you something really important. This isn't some temporary holiday special. This is a permanent feature. This is just how they do business. And that brings up a really good question, right? If everything is always on sale, is anything ever really on sale? This is a classic psychological marketing tactic, and it is super effective. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. On one hand, you see that crossed out original price, and it creates a high perceived value. A $50 hoodie just feels more premium than a $26 one. But then, on the other hand, the actual sale price makes that premium aspirational lifestyle feel accessible and affordable. Like right now, you get the feeling you're getting a deal on your ambition. So now we have our two main clues, the language of the hustle and the economics of aspiration. Let's put them together and really build a complete profile of this whole Dripalotchi ethos. When you put all the evidence together, these 5 core values just pop right out. It's this whole message of ambition, of getting status through your style, of being resilient, and finding your salvation in material success. And the key part, the pricing makes this entire identity feel like something you can actually grab. So here's the crucial point. Dripalotchi isn't really in the apparel business. They're in the identity business. They've packaged the entire ethos of the modern hustler, the look, the mindset, the motivation, and they've put it into a bunch of affordable products. You're not just buying a t-shirt, you're buying into a whole worldview. Okay, so why does this story of one small online store even matter? Well, let's zoom out to the bigger picture for a second, because Dripalotchi is a perfect little window into a much, much larger trend that's happening right now. This store is a textbook case of what people are calling a micro brand. These are these small digital-first brands that don't even try to appeal to everyone. Instead, what they do is target a very specific cultural niche, and they serve that niche with incredible precision. And they pretty much all follow a similar playbook. First, you identify your tribe. In this case, it's the young hustler. Second, you learn to speak their language perfectly, using words like drip and grind. Third, you sell them the identity they're aspiring to. And finally, you use platforms like Shopify to reach them directly with no middlemen getting in the way. And that leaves us with one final thought. We've just unpacked an entire cultural narrative from a handful of product listings on a simple web store. So it really makes you wonder what other complex stories are being told just beneath the surface of the websites, the ads, and the feeds that we all scroll through every single day. What are we missing?